Yo, YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim. He's AC. This is the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. And Vince Young has been a hot topic of discussion. And I thought I'd bring in our Texas fan, AC, to talk about Vince Young here. And, at the bottom line, Vince Young here, he was benched the other day. Benched, he was injured. It's kind of a combination, but it's on the IR. After the game, he was mad because they didn't put him back in, even though he never went to Coach Jeff Fisher. Said, I want to go back in. It was kind of presumed that he was too hurt to go back in. So he tossed his shoulder pads and everything and his jersey into the stands, and one of the people happening to catch it was someone in the Titans front office or a kid of one of the people in the front office who took it to their parent, who kind of screwed Vince Young over. Now, quite frankly, throwing your pads into the stands, that seems like they're blowing this a bit out of proportion. But AC, do you think Vince Young will ever get it?
I don't know if he'll ever get it. He's really pissed off about Jeff Fisher, the whole Jeff Fisher thing. He doesn't really like Jeff Fisher. He never really did like Jeff Fisher, which I don't understand because, in my opinion, he's a great coach. I don't understand why Vince Young doesn't get it at this point, and to be honest, I don't think he'll ever get it. If you can't get it with Jeff Fisher as your coach, you really can't get it with anyone. I mean, this tossing of the pads thing, the throwing of the jersey, as it was supposed, and I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got in trouble. He had that fight over the offseason in the club where they had to restrain him, and if it's anyone else, he probably goes to jail or something. At the bottom line is that Vince Young is a head case. But let's look at the stats now. His career numbers, he's 30-17 as a starter, 43 touchdowns, 42 picks. Now, 30-17 is pretty solid. 43 TDs and 42 picks is not worth the number 3 pick in the NFL draft. But everyone has said he's improved as a passer, and if you look through this season, he's really been solid. 10 TDs, 3 picks. The issue for him's really been staying healthy, and he puts his body on the line with runs and things like that. He needs to learn how to pass correctly. That's the bottom line. He needs to become, the way we've seen Michael Vick do. You cannot be a run-first quarterback in the NFL and survive. It just doesn't work that way.
Oh, yeah, people compare him to Vick all the time, and to be honest, I think that's a fair comparison because he is a lot like Vick in a lot of ways. The difference with him is he looks, like you just said, to run first. He looks at one receiver, the receiver that play is supposed to go to, and if he's not open, he just takes off and runs. And a lot of the time that doesn't work out, as we've seen with him and with Vic. I can guarantee you that his touchdowns would be higher if you would do what Vic does now and stay in the pocket a little bit longer, because he doesn't have a terrible offensive line. He does have time, and I think he needs to learn how to throw, like you just said. He needs to learn how to become a pocket quarterback, because you've got to be able to throw the ball at the quarterback position in the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the difference between him and Vic, I think Michael Vick's a better athlete, but truthfully, I think if Vince Young put it all together, Vince Young could be the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if Michael Vick's quite there. He's certainly making a case this year. But I think Vince Young, if he put it all together, I mean, we saw him at Texas. That 04 national title game is one of the most clutch games I've ever watched out of anyone. Or 05, I think it was. Quite frankly, that's the best game I've ever watched in my life in any sport, in pro or college. And Vince Young topped it all off with the TD. But I think at this point you need to throw out Texas and look at where he's at now. He's been in Tennessee for 3 or 4 years, and he's always shown that he can run, he can do some stuff. He's exciting when he's on the field, but he takes too many hits, he gets hurt too much. He needs to change something, and I think it is that. Now, if it comes down to Jeff Fisher or Vince Young, who do you take?
I think you got to keep with Jeff Fisher because, in my opinion, like I've been saying, Jeff Fisher is a great coach, and Vince Young is an absolute head case. He does have a lot of issues, and I think no matter what coach you bring in, he's going to have a problem with them.
Yeah,
it hasn't happened in the NFL at all.
Jeff Fisher is a great coach. I think if Vince Young had it all figured out and everything, you got to keep Young. I mean, franchise quarterbacks do not grow on trees, but the bottom line, and I think everyone is this, is that he isn't good enough to be their franchise quarterback at this point. He doesn't get it. He's not a good role model for the organization. He doesn't represent well. He gets in trouble in the offseason. I think he needs a wake-up call, and that might mean being a backup for someone for a season, where he goes somewhere, signs a one-year deal, and backs up a guy, maybe like a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or Ben Roethlisberger, where he sees how it, well, not Ben Roethlisberger, he can't stay out of trouble either, but where he sees someone that can stay out of trouble in the offseason, that is a good leader, represents well for the team on the field and in the community, and he needs to do something. I think he needs a slap in the face. Asking him to leave, I think they just wanted him to not have a problem. Supposedly, him and Fisher really got into it after the game the other day. But if you look at the team he's got there in Tennessee, there's no reason he shouldn't win. You're talking about one of the better defenses in the NFL. You got the best running back in the NFL. Kenny Britt, before he got hurt, was emerging as one of the best wide receivers. You have weapons there. I mean, go up and down the list. It really doesn't matter. They have weapons there. They are a solid team. And quarterback, to me, is really the position. If Vince Young's out there and playing well, then yeah, they're going to win a ton of games. But, I just can't go into a game and feel confident about Vince Young.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You could put the best supporting cast around him. But in the quarterback position, it's up to him to bring it all together. And as we've seen this year, he can't seem to do that. He's got the people there. He's got the Titans' defense, which is a good defense, as we've seen this year. And I don't know. I think he's got a kid mentality going. I think he does need a wake-up call. I think he needs a role model is what he needs. He needs to see what most of the NFL quarterbacks these days look like. And frankly, it's not him. It's not the run-first mentality that we've been saying. He's got to learn to be a pocket quarterback, and he's got to learn to be an NFL quarterback. And I don't see him ever becoming that anytime soon. So
I keep going back to he plays like Michael Vick, and quite frankly, for him, the best thing he could do is go be the backup for Michael Vick. But God knows the last thing Philly needs is a third quarterback for people to say that they should start him or whatever. I don't want him here. But if he watched Michael Vick, he watched that Vick's learned a work ethic, that yeah, it wasn't always great, but it got there. I mean, Vince Young hasn't done half the shit that Michael Vick's done, so we're not trying to make him look all bad. But I mean, he's childish, like you said. He's like the spoiled kid who always had what he wanted, and that's the life of someone who grows up in Texas. And I mean, Texas is the biggest football state in America. I want to say 40% of the huge high school recruits come from Texas. Another 30 come from California. But Texas is all football all the time, and I think he's always had an eye on him. He's always been given stuff, and he needs to learn. He needs to learn that he's not going to be given the backup, or that he's not just going to be given the starting position because of how he played in Texas anymore. He's not going to be given the starting position because he's a great athlete or a physical specimen or anything like that. He needs to learn a lesson, and he needs to be a backup somewhere of a quarterback similar to his style. I think the best thing moving forward for his career, he could go somewhere and be a starter next year and continue down this path where he's a good quarterback when he's on the field but gets hurt and everything like that. But the bottom line, if he went somewhere and backed up a guy and developed some leadership and work ethic, maybe for just one season, hey, I mean, I still think he has tremendous talent.
Oh, yeah, he has the tremendous talent, but he's got to learn that in the NFL, you're not going to go around and have shit handed to you. You're not going to go around and have a starting job. Just, hey, come play for us. I mean, maybe for a crappy team, but he's not going to want to play for a crappy team, and he wants to win. That's the one thing that he does want, is he wants to win. And with his work ethic and with the way he's playing right now and the way he looks on the field, he's not going to win with a crappy team. He's not going to win with a good team. He doesn't have what it takes to be that franchise quarterback, the one who pulls it all together, the one who makes all the plays. He doesn't have that right now. He is a playmaker, but he's not a team playmaker. He doesn't.
Yeah, and I mean, the final thing here is that I was watching, I think, NFL Prime Time yesterday, one of those shows on ESPN, And Merrill Hodge, I think it was, or Tim Hasselback, one of those guys, they said he doesn't have the emotional build-up. He can't take being told, you know what, you got to be benched, or you know what, you have an injury, you need to get off the field for a while. He can't be told that, or he can't be told that. He can't be booed, as we saw a few years ago. A guy almost, well, I don't know what the deal ended up ever being with that thing where he disappeared. But everyone has said he can't take being slapped in the face. And there's few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been slapped in the face real hard and got it. And two come to mind for me, Michael Vick and... No, actually, two don't come to mind for me. Just Michael Vick, who really got slapped in the face. He really started to get it after that. Ben Roethlisberger, I'm still waiting on him to get it. He's been slapped in the face 4 or 5 times, and because he has good lawyers, has gotten off. Vince Young needs to fix his life, turn it around, before he begins to get into the territory where we're talking about him with Ben Roethlisberger and Michael Vick, where he's doing these crimes and he's throwing away talent, because not everyone's as lucky as Roethlisberger, where everyone wants to drop charges against you. People will sue you, people will get your money, ruin your reputation, and you'll be suspended. Ask his former teammate, Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go out and say that he's a criminal, and I know you're not either. But that's the way we're coming off as, and I don't think that's fair to him. But to be honest, you're right. That's the path that he's headed down. If you can't take criticism in the NFL, you can't take anything. It's ridiculous.
If you can't take criticism in the NFL, then you don't belong in the NFL.
Obviously, I mean that's what you're going to get 60% of the time. When you're winning, you're going to get crapload of criticism. It's a lot. It's a lot of headaches, a lot of irritation, and frankly, he's acting like a kid. He can't handle that, like you said, and I don't know if he's ever going to be able to handle that, which brings us back to, I don't know if he's ever going to be a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, and frankly, if he can't handle booing, he better not even think about showing up in Philly next year as a backup quarterback. On that note, we will leave you guys. We'll probably do a video on Thanksgiving because we have no life. He's AC, I'm Tim. This is a Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. We'll catch you guys later.